All right, shalom, shalom. I know it's kind of early today, probably for most people, to be doing a quick hitter or to adjust what's going on out there in Babylon, spiritual Babylon. Spiritual Babylon and spiritual Sodom and Gomorrah. But I wanted to talk about real quick: are we witnessing some of the judgments? Like I don't know if, in case people weren't aware of the current events, it's a lot of flooding going on in America right now. And if you go to the National Inundation dashboard, and I'm gonna share my screen real quick to put that on the screen, you can see the flood warnings in this particular all over the United States. Now we know, according to the Bible, the Most High said He shall set His bow, that we may have a sign that He's no longer going to flood or use the flood to destroy the earth. But that doesn't mean that He won't flood certain places, especially flood certain places as a sign prophetically that these things are going to happen. Now, if you look at this website right here, these are all the places, at least some of them, rather, over the United States. If I can get it to zoom in, of where the flooding is going on, and you can see all these blue marks. And if you click on some of these blue marks, if you click on, if I can get it to stop doing that, it'll give you the type of flooding. So right here, if you see this color, is a minor flooding. The red is moderate flooding, and the purple is for major flooding. And I think it's important right now because we're a couple of days away from the eclipse. Um, I know our people realize that the 400 years is up. You go into the book of the Targums, it talks about the Most High shall plague in this current deliverance, 250 plagues. So we're talking about seeing a lot of signs in the earth that we have to be aware of, that we have to pay attention to. So I don't know where each person will be located, but if you look around right here, you can see all these areas of that have flooding. If I could stop it from doing that. I mean, look at that. You're talking about all around Wisconsin, Chicago, going down all over the East Coast, and you can see how the red bubble is illuminating on those spots, indicating some major flooding. Let me make sure that y'all can see my screen here. ABC News talking about East Coast flooding levels. Well, I'm sorry, East Coast flooding leaves commuters high and wet. Like it's really pouring right now, and it's been pouring since last night. Probably earlier than that in some places. Now, are these things signs of the judgments? I think anytime we say or we put out there, let us go, it's a sign of the judgment. Shalom, or shalom, Mary Penn. Anytime we put out messages like let us go, it is a sign of the judgments. Because we have said that our people are lamenting, our people are calling out. Um, let's go in the book of Genesis real quick, just to show that the Most High said He set His bow as a sign that He would not flood the earth again. But like I said, that these signs right here is that the earth is not going to flood again. But these things are signs of the Most High's judgments on the earth. And you can see how serious this is. You can see how far it's reaching. Um, one second. If you go, I can go. You can see, just looking on a global scale, the Pacific Ocean, all the way down through Alaska, down through California, and if we expand it more in our direction, at least in my direction, because I'm in New Jersey, you can see all over the East Coast. Now, it's I saw an interesting video of a sister. She was online with her son, and she was talking about how her son had a dream of flooding. Had a dream that the Most High was going to flood a certain area, and it would be underwater, and people would be on top of buildings, which was interesting enough. And I know we don't get into dreams and things like that, but when I was away, when I was locked up, um, suffering that persecution unjustly for those almost 6 years, I had a dream while I was in prison that people were on top of buildings and the cities were flooding. Well, anyway, this young Israelites boy had a similar dream, and that buildings were toppling over due to the flooding. And again, Most High set the covenant at the bow that he would not destroy the earth again by flooding. We're going to just show that real quick. He set his bow on the firmament inside the heavens or in the firmament. But we have to pay attention to these signs. We got to be aware of these signs. Matter of fact, let me just go on Google and put it up. But God Bible Gateway. 1 second. Let's see. So we go into Genesis. I believe it's chapter 7. Real quick. Go in the Bible. That the Most High said he would set his bow, and that bow would be a sign that he wouldn't flood the earth again. So we know that these signs right here are not, that is not a sign that the earth is going to be flooded again, where we're going to be underwater. Like, we know that for certain, but certain areas are more prime for it, given the judgments that the Most High is passing, you know. So we go to Genesis 9:13, and I'll share my screen so y'all can see it. 1 second. We'll see that the Most High did set his covenant. We know that when the Most High sends out his word, it does not come back void. So it's unequivocal that this is not, that the Most High's word is going to be fulfilled, that we don't have to worry about the earth flooding to that degree again. But it says, I do set my bow in the cloud, and it shall be for a token of covenant between me and the earth. So the Most High, once he set that, is over with, you know. So we know that the earth can be flooded unto the, you know, the complete annihilation of man. But yet we do know that these judgments is going to be fire. It's going to be earthquakes. We know it's going to be weather phenomena, tornadoes. We know that all these things are going to happen because the Most High is going to show himself just. He's going to show himself mighty on the part of his people. But if anybody can just go to this website, and I suggest you do it if you want to take a closer look at it. We're talking about biblical type fears that's going on. You got fears in this country about seeing all this flooding that's happening right now, you know, and if people are afraid. People are afraid anytime the Most High moves. And you see, like, when thunders happen in the heavens, you hear people there in fear then. But are these things a sign of the plagues? Are these things a sign of the judgments that's coming on America? It's not a coincidence that these floods, this massive flooding, is going over all the way from the Pacific Ocean, all the way over Alaska, from the West Coast, all the way from I guess Lake Michigan in Ontario, or going into Canada, all the way over the East Coast. And the news is that, like I was saying, that in Antarctica, some big iceberg, I guess it melted, and a lot of that water is going in a direction coming down into the East Coast. Now, this is the story, you know, or this is the rumor, and that this wave could end up overflowing or causing some heavy flood damage in some parts of the East Coast. This is possible, you know, and like I was saying that and I'm not much into showing other people's videos, but like I said, there's a young man on YouTube, on TikTok, and he was talking about he had a dream from the Most High. And mind you, like I said, you could take that how you want to take it, but the Most High will give visions and dreams unto his people, the old man and the young man, according to the book of Joel. So, and especially before the great and terrible day of the Most High. So sometimes when you have certain dreams that's out of place with the motivations of your mind and intent of your heart, it's possible, but that some of these things could be signs of Most High, particularly because of the time that we're in, you know. So I want to show a video real quick of what we said over a year ago. So let me share my screen again. Let me see. And this was over a year ago, when maybe almost a year and a half ago, that if I wish I can get the one on the Salt of the Earth channel, but hopefully y'all can see this. Been through enough, 400 years worth. Let us go. If you see the dating on that video, that's hashtag let us go. We've been through enough, 400 years worth. If we go to the Salt of the Earth TikTok channel, you can see that let us go. We've been through enough, 400 years worth. Let us go. Stitched together. of us people, our people saying,
Hashtag
let us
let us
go.
go. We've been through enough. 400 years
And
worth.
that's no
Let
different than
us
what
go.
we did in Mitzrayim when we were delivered out of there.
Hashtag let
And
us
the
go.
key
We've been through
components of
enough.
that
400
was
years
that we
worth.
said, let
Let
us go.
us go.
Let us go. And that's why we continue
Hashtag let
to let that be our vocation when it comes to our deliverance out of this place. We say, let us go, let us go, let us go. You know, it's necessary. It's necessary. And nothing happens through happenstance. Nothing happens by mistake. You know, when you see these things, these are signs. These are signs of the Most High doing something in the earth. That's if we want to recognize them as such. If we want to, you know, how I say in the Bible, a righteous man see danger and he getteth out of the way. But you see all these dots signifying flood warnings. And like I said, if you go to the website, it's called the Coastal Inundation Dashboard. And it shows all the areas that are affected by these floods that's happening in America right now. And me being in the East Coast, you can hear the thunderstorming and the rain all night into today. You know, and I remember a flood that we had back in the 80s. And I'm from Camden, New Jersey, where the city was so flooded that we could go out and swim in the in the alleyways. Like we would go out back and swim inside the alleyways in Camden, New Jersey, right down from Camden High Bridge. We can go out back and we were swimming in the water. Now, just imagine living in this current climate in this country today, and you can actually swim in your neighborhood. A lot of times you see those type of things inside Louisiana or down south. You don't really notice that these things are happening in areas close to where we're at now, like in these particular areas. Uh, Acts 2:17, young men shall see dreams in the last days, which is true. So we don't have to, we can't invalidate every time somebody has a dream or a vision. These things are, you know, like witnesses, like precepts. They're like precepts. I get understanding. You have a lot of people having the same type of dream, and like I said, I mentioned the little boy on TikTok, and I'll show a little bit of that video. You know, matter of fact, I'm not going to show it because I don't know the mother in the video, and I don't know. Um, I never seen their channel before, and I don't know the motivations behind that channel. But I do think that it's just these certain things are a sign, and I believe they made this video several days ago. So I don't want to sit there and put people out there that I don't know about and I haven't vetted. But just to say that whether their credibility is in question or not, the thing is that I always hear from our people different dreams, especially in the little kids. You gotta, like, sometimes it's good to see what is being said, especially in this current climate, like what's going on, you know. So, but the main question is, are these floods a part of the judgments? Are we right to say, let us go? Um, let's go to Psalms 148, I believe it is. Psalms 148. Let me see if I can get that up on my screen. Uh, we'll try Bible Gateway. That way everybody can see it. You know, ain't a lot of people in here right now, but we ain't doing it for views. We doing it for the love. All right. So we can go to Psalms 119. I don't know why, like the default Bible is the New International Version. You know, go figure. But we're gonna go to Psalms, not 119, but Psalms 148, I believe it is. Psalms 148. And let's see. Yeah, this is it right here. Let's see. Um, let me make sure. It might be Psalms 149. Yeah, Psalms 149 rather. So we can go to Psalms 149. Let's see. All right, so if everybody can see that, we're gonna read that real quick. So make sure that y'all can see what I got on my screen. So let me stop sharing that one. And we're gonna do this. And know that we have power in the earth to call on our God. We have power in the earth to call on the Most High. You know, the Most High has given us that dubious honor, being His children, being His people, that we can call on Him. And it's really called upon us to call on Him, to call on Him for the things we're asking to happen in the earth. You know, there's a part inside the book Isaiah says, "Command ye me concerning my sons and daughters." I hope I'm quoting that right, because I don't want to butcher that scripture, but it says, "Command ye me." inside the book of Isaiah. But we're going to read this real quick in the book of the Psalms. And it reads, praise ye the Most High, sing unto the Most High a new song, and praise in the congregation of the saints. Let Israel rejoice in him that made him. Let the children of Zion be joyful in their king. Let them praise his name in the dance. Let them sing praises unto him with the timbrel and harp. For the Most High taketh pleasure in his people. He will beautify the meek with salvation. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth and a two-edged sword in their hand. Talking about the manuscript. To execute judgment, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people. To bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. To execute the judgments written, or the judgment written. This honor have all his saints. Praise ye the Most High. So it says to execute upon them the judgment written. When the Bible talks about flooding, when it talks about pestilence, when it talks about fire, when it talks about hell, when it talks about earthquake, and all these things, the whirlwind, when it talks about anything of that the Most High uses, the locust, his host, it says, this honor have all his saints to execute upon them the judgment written. That's written inside the manuscript. Like this is to execute vengeance upon the heathen. So we're supposed to call out these plagues. We're supposed to call out in prayer for the Most High to do the things to deliver us. And the Most High will use us as well in that given time. For the scripture says, thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. With thee I will overthrow nations. So it's a time coming where the Most High, when he raises us up, and that time is coming soon, that the Most High is going to use his people and raise us up according to his good pleasure. Raise us up to do the things that's coming in the earth. So I'm going to show this one more time. Check this out yourselves. Go to it and just ask yourself, are we witnessing the judgments? Are we witnessing the start of the judgments or some of the judgments? Looking at all this flooding, and not to say how far it's going to go, but it is something to consider. Not long after the eclipse, that you can see all this flooding all over the United States. And if we go down further, to make sure I'm sharing this, we go down further, we can see it goes all the way up into Alaska. Like you're talking about getting to the point where you're damn near on the other side of the earth. And this is only here. We don't see any flooding anywhere else. And that can be for a number of reasons. And I'm not a meteorologist, and I'm not pretending to be. But you can see all the way through Alaska, which is a part of the United States, all the way going down from California, in the Pacific Ocean and its islands, all the way down into the Caribbean Sea, the coastal islands of Texas, going into Mexico, going into Florida, all the way up to the Northeast, which is the hub, or where the Lucifer is at, where the light bearer is at. We can know that the light bearer is representing of a nation just by the fact that if you look at any movie like Paramount Pictures, you can see that it has a light bearer there. That light bearer is a Lucifer. Lucifer is a light bearer. And that what's the main light bearer that we see? And that's the one, the Statue of Liberty. I don't know if anybody has saw the other day that the Statue of Liberty was struck by lightning, or my bad, the torch was struck by lightning. We're going to, matter of fact, let's show that real quick. These things are signs, I don't know if anybody ever seen the movie The Day After Tomorrow. And in that movie, I believe the thumbnail of the movie, it has the Statue of Liberty broken inside water. It's like when New York City goes underwater, it shows the Statue of Liberty falling. But let's just take a look at this lightning hit the Statue of Liberty. Right on Statue of Liberty hit by lightning. All right, see if we can get this picture up. And you can see, matter of fact, we can get a good picture because it actually hits the torch. So what we'll do is me share my screen so y'all can see that it hit the torch. Let's see. And you can see right there, and this was a couple days ago, that the Statue of Liberty was hit by lightning and specifically hit on the torch. Now, going into the book of Isaiah chapter 14, we know that Lucifer, at least the term inside the Bible, was never connected directly to Satan or the devil or anything like that, but represented the fall of a nation, fall of Babylon. And Babylon's key figure is its so-called Lady Liberty, which is actually lady slavery or lady oppression. There is no liberty, And I know some history that the original Statue of Liberty came from France and was supposed to be a so-called black woman breaking chains. But obviously they didn't go with that idea. They chose to go with a symbol of liberty, but actually was a symbol of oppression and slavery for our people. So this Lucifer, at least if you look at movies like The Day After Tomorrow, see if we can get that up. Day After Tomorrow. All right. Now you can see inside this movie, The Day After Tomorrow, you can see one, it's frozen. There's another thumb. You can see it's actually inside the water in this picture, or is it under ice? You can see the waves hitting it here. But you have, I think, it's another apocalyptic movie. We can see this one right here, where you see the Statue of Liberty underwater. And I'm not much into conspiracies, but we'll just, highlight the topic. Is that if you go on, I believe it's TikTok, or you go on the web, you see some people talking about the new map of America. And when you look at this so-called new map, it shows certain places underwater that the geography of the country is no longer intact. It's like you could see certain places is presumed or speculated to be underwater, or that's the depiction that they're giving. So how do we feel about this? Like, are we noticing these things? Knowing that all these things are signs. All these things are signs of the Most High's deliverance of His people. At this point in time, nothing is not a sign of the Most High deliverance of His people. Everything is, if we're watching, if we're paying attention, if we're focused on these things. And the heathen definitely looks at it. Matter of fact, if you look, and where I actually, we're going to check. Let me get the fair use going. I want us to check out this short video real quick. And once I saw this video, it actually led me to do this subject. It wasn't like I was just on the national or Induation dashboard, but like that was my part of my day, part of my plans. But that's where we end up going due to the fact that let's see. Let me see if we can get that going. Let's see. 1 second. Let me see if I save it to my favorites. If I let's see, favorites. All right, here we go. So what we're going to do is I'm going to share my screen again, and we're just going to get, and you can see the fear. You can hear the fear in the woman's voice when being faced with some of these floods, and even hears some articulation in the video about this so-called this flood that's coming down from our Antarctic. So just listen to the sound of it, to see that it's actual fear, genuine fear, and what's going on.
Mr.
Hold on 1 second. I got to do the fair use. We want to make sure that this doesn't get taken down. So let me get the fair use going real quick. Got to do that. If I can find it. All right, fair use.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. And this is a copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
All right, so we're gonna check out this video real quick, and make your own spiritual hypothesis. We don't want to do anything brashly or rashly, but just check this out, and we'll see where we at with it.
MVP 333, where he's talking about this big rogue wave, or if it looks like it's like 85 feet tall, that originated from Antarctica. So, long story short, found myself here in the coastal inundation dashboard on the NOAA website, and all of these are like red and flashing. So if you click on any of the red ones, they're all flooding. Are you guys okay? Because some of these may experience flooding over the next 48 hours, like way inland. Maybe experiencing flooding, but the ones that are further inland, it says over the next 48 hours, maybe experiencing flooding. All of these, all the way up the coast, dude. Looks like it is flooding in may experience the next 48 hours. May experience flooding, be experiencing. What is happening? That's like normal, because look, it goes all the way down into Florida is doing it too. Station experiencing significantly elevated water levels. Are you guys okay? East Coast, Florida.
You see, she says, "Is everybody okay?"
Oh, I guess I clicked on that one.
I wanted everybody to hear that, because that's a genuine fear. Like you having the Bible where it says men's heart failing them, when the Most High does what He's going to do on the earth, and you can hear the fear. Now, in a lot of ways, the only thing that's different about this situation is that they don't know why it's happening. It's a difference when they know why it's happening. If we say let us go and things intensify, the correlation gets to be met when we're calling these things out. Like the only thing that's different with some of these phenomenon, so-called, and us saying let us go, is that these judgments are not being identified with being synonymous with our people. They don't know that this could be the difference between some relief or the intensification of some of these judgments. And I'm going to just go to the end of the video real quick. I think this when the dude talks about this so-called iceberg, here we go. See it right here.
Is the dark red object an anomaly or a freak wave of 85 feet coming from the Antarctic Ocean? It's traveling up through the Atlantic in the coming days. So I got to looking myself over here at ventusky.com. I've used Ventusky for many, many years, and it's normally a very reliable source of information. And here's what I found. I went to the feature under waves, significant wave height. Sure enough, there it is. And we're going to go back in time and take a look at when this thing originated. It first appeared on the map over here at ventusky.com. And it does appear to originate from the Antarctica area, deep down in the southern hemisphere, on April 9th, the day after the eclipse of 2024, around 2 p.m. And here we go. I'm going to step it forward 3 hours at a time. There it is. Shows up in the southern Atlantic Ocean, implying that there is a very large field of waves measuring 83.7 feet. And I couldn't help but notice the interesting shape of whatever's going on down here. More strange energy showing up in various places around the world. So I'm going to step it forward another 3 hours. It gets bigger. And it gets bigger. We're going to step it forward another 3 hours, 11 p.m. on April 9th. gets even bigger. We're going to step it forward again. Now we're into the 10th, and it is 2 a.m. Much bigger, uniformly moving to the north. 3 hours again, still moving to the north off the southwest coast of Africa.
So let's learn from this situation. By no means am I saying that I know that a wave is coming. By no means. So take that not from what I'm saying. I'm saying that what you see in the video right there is a fear that the heathen has. The only time we would actually know for certain if the wave is approaching the United States or South America is when it actually gets here, and that some of these methods to check, like the national or the Intuition dashboard, is a way to check on some of why this flooding is going on. So again, this is not a prophecy of a flood hitting America. I'm just saying the possibility that is America facing the judgments. Is America facing the judgments right now? Is it more prevalent now to say, let us go than at any other point? Like the heathen has to be afraid after 400 years of rape, robbery, and murder, oppression, stealing your name, the fact that repatriation has never been given back to the people for which it's owed to, that you have the Most High's people in bondage, in captivity. Like, let me tell you something. You know that you're in captivity when you're stolen from a place and you're still in that place. I hear a lot of discussions where people are saying, shalom, priest out of Judah. A lot of people say that we're not in slavery anymore. Now that's an interesting thing. If I steal someone's kid, if I go and I take somebody's kid and I put that kid in my house and then 20 years goes past and that kid has all the freedom in the world to go in and out of my house, but I do not restore that kid to his family, is that kid still stolen? Is it a statute of limitations on theft or the stealing of a person's heritage? Israel, you are stolen property. The reason that we can say we're property is because the Most High claims us as his. So right now, what we are is stolen property. The fact that our names is Johnson Jackson is just more proof of the theft. The fact that nobility is not applicable to our current situation is more, it's more proof of the theft. So you're living, going to and fro to work, probably have some, or the parents of having some constitutional rights, freedom of speech and all that jazz. But yet you're stolen property. You're stolen property from your nobility, heritage, who you are, and you have no ability to leave without price. Even though the Bible says they shall go out without price or reward. We're still found in their hands. It's like, how can America say that was years ago when you still have us in your hands now? Imagine you going to the person who stole your child from you and saying it's been 20 years and I fed this kid well. I've given this kid money. I've nurtured this kid. Imagine the Most High presence coming to this place and we're still in the hands of those who have his children. What are they going to say? It was 400 years ago. They work now. They eat now. They have money. They have constitutional rights. Is this what's going to be said? Is this a legitimate argument to the theft of one's people? Hell no. Nah. So when you're looking around and you're seeing all this, even when you see the Negro lights out there, because you got another Negro lights out there to say, we've been given every advantage. There's no racism in America and all that. Listen, really, I can really care less if every so-called business was an equal opportunity employer. I can really care less because I don't have the advantages I would have in my own land. Nepotism is a luxury of a sovereign nation. There should be nepotism. You think the heathen doesn't have nepotism? Nepotism is a benefit. You get a job and everybody's like with the temp service. You think in a society where people are lacking work, the temp service, the workers there don't call their friends and family to say that there's job openings before they give it to the people that's calling in? No. We should have the right of nepotism. We should have the right of preferring our own people. Why should I have to work harder than you to get where I need to get to? That's not freedom. That's not freedom to them. That would be unfair. That would be unjust. So how can we live in a situation like that? Why should I have to do the right thing if I get pulled over by the police? I got to make sure that I don't move a certain way or put my hands a certain way. Why is it that I should be able to deal with being profiled and stop and frisked? To have some judge, if I go before front of a judiciary, decide to say, hey, I'm going to give him more time, or to judge him according to whatever biases they have. Why should I even be in a situation like that? In the law of the Most High, we weren't allowed to show respect of persons. We can almost guarantee righteous judgment. So when we're in this place like this, and you hear the Negro lights out there talking about, there is no racism. Oh, we have advantages now. Let me tell you something. The son always has a greater advantage than the servant. Always. Their sons will always have a greater advantage. Their daughters will always have a greater advantage. There is no honor and respect unto being a respected member in your captivity to the nation that held you captive. There's no honor in that. Many nations come here with diplomatic immunity. They call themselves nationals when they come here, and they're respected. They have to deal with embassies when there's a situation of law happening. Nobody got to do that with us. You have situations that go back where Chicago police stations used to beat the hell out of us to get confessions. Detroit, all them places. You got brothers in prison right now, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. These things happening by the hand of your oppressor. So no, when you have somebody property, when you have a people still in the land that you brung them as slaves, they're still slaves. Now, what did we do now? Like, as far as, I seen a debate between the brother Captain Tazariak of IUSPK and Shaka Amos, and it was, I think the title was "What Can Save Black People." I don't know if that was the exact title. It was something like that. What's better for Black people? Better for Black people is reparations, repatriation, back to our true heritage and nobility. When we say let us go, when we saying let us go, that we may establish the constitutions that the Most High gave us, that we're not called by your names anymore. I know it might sound funny if your name was Bantu Yasha Yakaf. That might sound weird in this construct, but that would be your name. The weird thing, the insane thing is the Johnsons, the Jacksons, the Gates, and all this other stuff. Not knowing that when a lot of the American immigrants came here, they actually changed their name when they got here. They made up names. Imagine that. You're running around with a made up name that you take pride in. Like the dude in What's Love Got to Do with It said, that's my daddy name. My daddy blood on that name. Negro light, please. Your daddy name wasn't that. So let us go. Let us go, that we can be established to our proper estate under our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Whether you believe in the 400-year prophecy or not, you do know everybody can agree that we've been here 400 years. So no matter where you're at, no matter what you're doing, let us go should be our vocation. Let us go, let us go, let us go, let us go. Because the Most High hears our cries. Remember, that's one of the greatest statements in the book of Exodus. I've heard the cries of my people. I've heard the cries of my people. I've heard the cries of my people. Cries is, if you have a baby inside a crib and you hear that first, you know that baby is requiring your attention. You know that baby is probably hungry, maybe wants to be swaddled, maybe just wants to be comforted, but to go running. This is who we have to be today. We have to be like that baby in the crib. We have to call out. So again, I meant for this to be a quick hitter. I know we're going into like 40 minutes, but I want people to review. Go back and check out some of these things. Check out this flooding that's going on. Not for nothing, I might do a video on this subject too. Iran just stated that within the next 24 to 72 hours, I believe it is, that they're going to strike back on Israel for some airstrikes that happened recently. Now if you believe prophecy, Iran would operate as the Chaldeans, and we know the place that the Chaldeans play when you go into Jeremiah's chapter 49 and 50 and 51, that the Most High will overthrow Babylon, or the daughter of Babylon, with the Chaldeans, or they will be one of the vessels for which he does these things. Like, you got to remember, we're living in the apocalyptic, the time before the apocalypse. And when I'm talking about apocalypse, I'm talking about the way of life being changed. Do you think that this Gog and Magog prophecy? Now, if you go into the scriptures, Gog and Magog is actually after the 1,000-year reign. After, so I know a lot of people they're going into Ezekiel, and I believe that they're applying that to today. No, that Gog and Magog is after the 1,000 years, believe it or not. And if anybody wants us to go deep into that, shoot that out there, and we can do a not I could say discourse, but we can do edification on it, and bring to the table. Some say it's pre-trib. No, well, it can't be pre-trib when our tribulation was roughly when the sacking of Jerusalem happened, when we started being scattered into slavery. That's what I'm saying. Like, you got a religious tribulation, and then you got the actual biblical tribulation. Our tribulation started when they started to chase us down from the Roman prosecution. We fled down into Erica, and they pursued us down there. It says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate." No doubt, all praise the Most High. And you can also connect that to Lamentations, the 4th chapter. Connect that to Psalms 137, because we know in today's age, when you start talking about the daughter of the Chaldeans or the daughter of Babylon, we're talking about the European powers that run this nation today. They're operating as they've taken over. They have assumed the antiquity of those people. Like, if you look, for instance, where it says spiritual Edom and Sodom, this place is the picture of captivity and slavery. This picture is a picture of the LGBTQWXYZ, of sexual immorality and homosexuality and lesbianism, and just so many, and the pronouns and all that other jive that go with it. This place represents almost every nation's wickedness. That's why if you go to Psalm 64, it says they search out iniquities. They make a diligent search. Man, they done searched out the iniquities of almost every nation on this planet. They have searched out the evil things of every nation on the planet. Every wicked thing, every prominent kingdom of antiquity has ever done. This page has searched it out and copied and then magnified the wickedness, But I digress. So just on the present point is that our people have to know that these plagues that come upon this place in large part is about you. It is about us. We need to cry like we did in ancient Egypt. Been saying that America's Babylon, Rome, Egypt. And brother, you're not wrong. If you've been saying that, whoever heard you say that and listened, you spoke the truth. I agree with you. Is those places physically? No, but spiritually they have adopted the ways, customs, and mannerisms of those nations. It's really, if you look at all the what's the way I want to put this, the architecture, or the I don't have the right word for it right now. I can't seem to bring up the proper word. But if you look at the texture, the way they build the buildings, if you can, somebody got a better word, but the architecture of America, most of it is immortalization of pagan gods of different nations. It's buildings, it's infrastructure, like always the pillars on the state building. Egypt, Babylon, this place is literally been reborn in this place, which Most High says they will build and I will tear down. That's, if you just look around, you can see the connection, or how this place looks like these other nations, or the nations of antiquity all over it. Like, you can see what nation does that. Like, go to China and see if you see a mock ghetto of graffiti and black people statues and stuff like that. Yeah, go to China and see if you see them mimic our culture. If you see African, or what they call us African, I'm not saying right, but Israelite, buildings or whatever we've done through antiquity, do you see mimics of it in other countries? Go to India and see if they decide to mimic us. Most nations mimic their own fathers. They mimic or keep the heritage of their people. In this country, going with the fact that this is the whore that sitteth upon many waters, they have taken almost every nation's antiquity. They run around with pyramids. You go to Las Vegas, you can see almost every building that was ever built by every great kingdom. It says, do you know if we are getting any compensation soon? I know that our compensation depends on how much we can call out let us go. I can't say I don't know when we'll be compensated, but I'll say this: everything is more sooner than later. I would love to know that specific question. When are they? When we went to the White House, when we went to United Nations saying reparations, repatriation back in like 214 and 215, I would say that back then, not a lot of people was talking about the 400 years or the second Exodus. Now everybody talks about it. I see videos for days about these things. It just lets us know that our time is near, but that depends on us. Right now we're watching these things like spectators. We're watching what's going on and we're saying, oh man, look at this. We're not actually involved like it's about us. Imagine, your wife comes in, if you have a wife and she say somebody hit her, and then you go out a week later and you just hit the guy. You're like, what the hell was that for? Brother, do I know you? But imagine you go out that moment and say, hey man, you accosted my wife. And then you proceed to trip him up. He's going to identify your actions with his actions. Like right now, America doesn't know to identify. They know, but we got to make sure they know they know that the things that's coming upon this place is due in large part to who they have captive. Is only maintained. This country is only maintained as long as it has because it has the true children of Israel here. But I just wanted the brothers and sisters to check, look at these things and say, are we noticing the plagues? Are we noticing some of the judgments? Are we looking at the start or intensifying of the new America? And what I mean by the new America is that no more Friday plans, no more women that put on makeup and get ready to allure some man out there, run around in the clubs, throwing money in the air. That are we changing? We're looking at the change of this country. Are we looking at the change that now things are going in a direction where what used to be how you maintain is now no more? Let's see. Really, what is UB channel? I don't know what do you mean UB channel? I know you. Are you talking about the old videos we had years ago, like when we went to the White House? That's at soulfully sowing seeds. All right. So are we noticing a change? So Israelite brothers and sisters, I just want to say, stay in prayer. I think that if you've had, and like I said, I'm not putting a lot of stock behind dreams and whatnot, but this is the Most High does speak to us sometimes in these ways. And sometimes they're valid. They are dreams that are specifically from the Most High. I believe I read it in Josephus once where it says, talks about dreams. In fact, no, it's in the book of Sirach where it says, dreams, unless they be sent by the Most High, is probably just, and I'm paraphrasing. I should just grab it up. No doubt about that, Pride of Judah. America is Egypt of Deuteronomy 28:68, or the house of bondage, no doubt. So, yeah, this is your brother Elisha. We'll see what's going on, and if I see something else, jump back on, and we can discuss that too. But again, as I was saying before, let us go. Let me share my screen. I don't know why I didn't do this prior to this, but give me 2 shakes about let's see. Yeah. Let's see 1 second. The let us go situation. It's always a situation with let us go. My thumbnail maker right there. I want you to see me talking to my son. 1 second. If I can find it. What did I do with it? All right. We had made some t-shirts on, but in fact we haven't, but matter of fact, this is what we'll do. We'll just go to the video. So let me stop that. And we'll go to oh, that's not that. I'm not the smoothest with using the online thing like that. But give me 2 seconds. 1 second. Let's see, videos live. All right, here we go. So here we go, right here. If we can get this past this. All right. So I'm gonna share my screen again before we close out, and just to see if we can, if anybody wants to support the platform, I hope y'all can see my screen. Support us at our Cash App is $ Salt of the Earth 777. That's $ Salt of the Earth 777. Of course, there's something that you can do freely. There ain't no requirement or anything like that. But if you want to support the content, you can support us there. We got some things we're working on to bring to the people, and also the Let Us Go T-shirts. Let Us Go, meaning reparations, repatriation, name, heritage, and nobility. If we're going to say let us go, why are we saying let us go? What is it that we're asking of you? Because I think that's one of the questions that get missed a lot. What are we saying that we're asking of the nations? Like, what are we requiring? We're saying that we want reparations, repatriation. We want what you owe us. Man, this is listen, give me all me. Now don't leave nothing back. I will give you nothing, but I will take everything. Don't hold back a penny. I want everything that they owe to our people, that we can go and we can rebuild our temples, our places, our land. I want our land back. Everything that belongs to us, the Most High promised us. Give me. I hear questions like, well, how are they going to pay us? Man, the same way they gave Ukraine $100 billion. The same way they keep giving the Jewish people billions of dollars every year in reparations for something so-called Nazi Germany did. The same way they've always given monies and resources to all these nations to cause coups and wars all over there. Don't give me this crap about how are they going to get it. Man, give me. I don't want to hear the rest. Give me or else. That's the problem. Or else part is what we're lacking. Or else is that our God, our Most High, our Father, Bashem Yeshai, is going to free us with a stretched out arm and a mighty hand. And it's going to be greater than the first time. That's the or else part of it. Or else. This is not a request. Give me reparations. Bump that. I demand you return to me what you owe me. What you owe our people. See, that's the difference. We're talking to these people as if we're asking them for a thing. Like we're just asking to borrow something. Man, give me. Our economy will collapse. So what? Give me. Well, it'll cause us to go into social degradation. So what? Give me. I don't care what they got to give up. We are a separate nation of people from them. We're a separate tribe that they stole over 400 years ago, stripping us of our name, heritage, and nobility. Whatever wealth and whatever lands we would have had, we don't even know about. Give me, and that's the end of it. There's nothing to talk about. The only thing we got to say to y'all people, let us go and run us what you owe. And we got to stop trying to find excuses for these people. Oh man, how are they going to get it? I don't give a damn how you get it. But I care how you get it. Go into Fort Knox and give me everything. Dig in the earth and give me everything. Dig in the sea and give me everything. And make it happen. What you mean? What do we care how you going to get it? Man, that's your problem. How we get here. So we got to stop allowing these narratives, man. I don't want to hear no more of these people talk about how are they going to do it. Man, give me and leave it at that. Yo, rebuild your nation from scrap if you have to. But that's the thing. We don't want to put that out there. But the thing is that we have every right to put that out there because we are the sons and daughters of the Most High God. That means that it is not beyond, it's not unfair for us to demand what's owed to us. It's as simple as that. So again, people, I know I went on a little longer than I wanted to, but those are the Let Us Go t-shirts. We haven't put them in the circulation. We just ask seeing the people want to get the t-shirts. Spiritually, we want you to adopt to let us go in your heart more than anything. Know that you are old, not requesting reparations, repatriation, name, heritage, and nobility, but this belonged to you by right. You are the children of the kingdom, you know. And also, like I said, to support the channel, you can support us at our Cash App $ Salted Earth 777. You know, and I think we'll be back tomorrow. Most High will, if he allows it. I also got something else I want to talk about, but I'll do a separate video on that, and that'll be more geared to the brothers. And it's a reason for that. It's not that the sisters can't attend to that particular thing, but it is directed at the brothers and the law behind. If a man have an issue that chanceth him by night, so you can look for me to put that up. And this is your brother Elisha. Peace and blessings. I hope everybody has a blessed Shabbat. The Most High will. He put blessings upon your houses and your children. That's right. Better have the money. Run that. Like forget all the talk. Run that. Give me. That's it. But Most High put blessings. I don't want to get on my soapbox and get too amped up about it. But the way I feel about it, I don't care. I will give us what belongs to us. Bottom line. All right. So shalom to the brothers and sisters. I hope that your Shabbat is blessed. All praises be to the Most High God of Israel, Bashem Yeshai, his son. Many blessings upon our fathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and to all the descendants of Zion, to the four corners of the earth. Bless you, and the Most High gather us all together that we may serve him with one consent in the land of the living amongst our fathers with the timbrel and harp, many songs and dances and peace and happiness in our heritage with our children and our wives and our families together is one forever. All right, bless you, Zion.